Hey, welcome everybody. This is a little short video we're going to do here to go over some statistics, check out the standings in the GCGL, and get ready for the final three games of the season. As you look in the North Division, it's kind of crowded. Anybody's division, really. Montrose and Otisville, each 3-2. Then Mount Morris and Clio, both 2-3. The only one really almost out of it is Davison at 1-4. But Otisville, as you can see by their 166 points against, their defense has been pretty, pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? It's been pretty giving, I should say. Giving up a lot of points. Let's see how that plays out over the last few games. In the South, we just had that big game between Swartz Creek and Grand Blanc. Swartz Creek sits comfortably at 5-0. More than likely, they will be in the playoffs. And the playoffs, like I said, I've been kind of playing this league fast and on the fly, so I really haven't sat down and put together rules and how the playoffs were going to be set and all that stuff. So I'm going to have four teams make the playoffs. You're going to have a wild card in both divisions and the league leaders. So that's how we're going to play that out. Like I said, Swartz Creek's 5-0, Grand Blanc's 4-1. Then Flint 3-2, still in it. They have a pretty high-powered offense. They can stun some people. Burton and Flushing bring up the rear at 1-4. So let's go to statistics. Here's the league leaders. Rushing leaders. Grand Blanc's Michon Evans leads all rushers with 459 yards. Wesley Pierce from Swartz Creek, 414 yards. Otisville's Shane Yates at 389 yards. Flushing's Rodell Benson, 339. Swartz Creek's Jeremy Newton, 317. And Flushing's Jackson Lee Boyd at 301. Of those six players, two of them are diamond runners, which they're actually the star wide receivers. That's Wesley Pierce and Jackson Lee Boyd. Actually, Jackson Lee Boyd is a diamond receiver as well, I believe. But he's the diamond runner as well. For receiving, Flint's Darrell Bryce has been everything for Flint. Him and DJ Tyler have pretty much been the offense for this team. 722 yards receiving for Darrell Bryce. Second is Clio's Jamie Rogers with 631. Swartz Creek's Wesley Pierce, 573. Grand Blanc's Burt Butler at 456. Montrose's Lakin Butler at 392. And Clio's Connor Kelly, 319. Clio, the only team with two receivers in the top six in receiving. Rushing touchdowns, Burt Butler has 4, and he's their star receiver. And he is their star receiver and their diamond runner, I believe. So he leads all rushers with 4 touchdowns. Mount Morris's Tayton Lang has 3. Swartz Creek's Wesley Pierce has 2. 8 others are tied with 1. Receiving touchdowns, Wesley Pierce has 4. 6 total for him. Jamie Rogers has 2. Ronnie Rowland 2. Lakin Butler 2. Darrell Bryce 2. And Aiden Butler 2. Now we go over to passing. And this is the surprise of the league so far. Martin Keller is the only 1,000-yard passer in the league right now. He has 1,028 yards. He's a young quarterback who's got a lot of talent, but he's really raw, and he has just luckily has had a couple of big receivers in Rogers and Kelly to help him along, and they've really aided him into leading the league in passing. DJ Tyler, 921 yards, and Darrell Bryce has been his main man, 722 of those yards for him. That's almost 80% of the, I think it's like 78% of the passing yards of DJ Tyler's has been to Darrell Bryce. That's pretty amazing. Austin Todd for Swartz Creek is third with 784 yards. Caleb Green for Montrose, 757. Grand Blanks, Giles Martin, 716. Davidson's Jax Carrillo, another young quarterback that really is raw and unproven, really. He has 676 yards. And Ace Graham from Mount Morris with 618. Now, I see here that I wrote rushing, but it's passing touchdowns. For Swartz Creek, Austin Todd leads all quarterbacks with 4. Clio's Martin Keller has 3. Ace Graham has 3. Jax Carrillo has 2 for Davison. And DJ Tyler from Flint has 2. Montrose's Caleb Green also has 2. Then we go to total yards. Total yards, Darrell Bryce with 990 total yards for Flint. He's got 722 yards of that being receiving. Wesley Pierce shows up on both rushing and receiving leaders. 573 receiving yards and 414 rushing yards. He is second with 987 yards total. Jamie Rogers, third with 707. Grand Blanks Butler at 646. The first running back to show up on the list, Grand Blanks, Bashawn Evans with 545. Then another running back, Otisville's Shane Yates at 483. Davison's Jonte Malone, 479. And then Mount Morris's Tayton Lang, 448. So the total yards are dominated by receivers. So then we go to defense. Defense, this is another thing I'm going to have to, for next season, I'm going to kind of shore up some different defensive, like I just have stops. I know that in the rules it says impact plays, like plays for loss would be an impact play. Might have to think of some different things as far as that goes to add to the defensive statistics. But right now I'm just going with stops. And Davison's Reggie Williamson leads a 3-way tie with Grand Blank's Gaston Lambert and Montrose's Kurt Fisher with 7 stops each. Swartz Creek's got the next 2, Gary Smith and Jack James with 6 each. Burton's Jackie Oliver, Davison's Zach Caldwell, and then Mount Morris's Hadley Reed and Di Bauer, and Swartz Creek's Christian Chandler with 5. Sacks, Jack James leads all defensive players with 3 sacks. Paulie Rogers from Mount Morris has 2. Marcus McDonald has 2 for Flushing, and Montrose's Nellie Williams has 2. 8 others are tied with 1. INTs, Clio's Darren Patterson, Mount Morris's Hadley Reed, Flushing's Kevin Doyle, and Davison's Reggie Williamson each have 2 interceptions. Swartz Creek's Christian Chandler, Flint's Killian Herbert, and Montrose's Torrey Jackson have 1. And then we go to safeties. Davison's Zach Caldwell, Grand Blank's Gaston Lambert, and Kevin Doyle, or no, those 2, I'm sorry. Zach Caldwell and Gaston Lambert each have 2 safeties. Kevin Doyle, Maxwell Fletcher from Flushing each have 1. And then Swartz Creek has the final 3 with 1 each. Christian Chandler, Jack James, and Rush Osborne. Now we're going to go to team offense and defense here. High scoring offense in the league is Swartz Creek with 36.4 points per game. Flint is number 2 with 30. Clio, number 3 with 29.4. And after Montrose at 28.2, it drops down to Davison, Mount Morris, Grand Blanc, and Otisville, and Flushing. Bringing up the rear is Burton, who has been anemic on offense. They've only averaged 11.4 points per game. One of the big reasons they are 1-4 on the season. On defense, Grand Blanc makes up for that offense. Their offense hasn't been great, 21.8 points per game, but their defense has kept them in games and in second place in the South Division. 14.2 points per game allowed by the Grand Blanc Griffins. Swartz Creek, 5-0 Swartz Creek at number 2 with 18.2. And then you go down to Otisville, who has the worst defense in the league, 33.2 points per game. Flint, who is averaging 30 points per game, also defense is getting ripped up pretty good at 28.8 points per game. So there you have it. That's through week 5. Hopefully sometime this next week I will start back up and we will try to finish out this season and have our playoffs. And I probably won't do the second season draft and all that stuff until later. Maybe once we get closer to the next NFL season. Might go into basketball and football now, or baseball now. But who knows? I might get done with this and I might want to just go jump right in and do the draft and get ready have the team set for next season. We'll see what happens. But for now, that's all we got. We'll be back after the season's over to go over the final statistics and see how this plays out over the final 3 games. Thanks for watching. We'll see everyone later.